Welcome to the Preacher Pilot channel. We are currently cold and dark at Charlotte Airport, and I thought I would try to make a quick flight to DC and walk y'all through a little bit of the Zibo model. I love the Zibo 737 almost as much as I love Charlotte. This is a beautiful uh, scenery place, and by the way, I will send you. You'll have links down in the comment section, the detail section, so you can learn a little bit about some of the different tools that are built right in, and some things that you can get some new scenery. Well, beautiful there at Charlotte skyline. So anyway, we are here at Charlotte Airport. Beautiful airport. Now, what I'm going to try to do today to just set the expectation, we're not going to have much communication with ATC on this particular flight. I would like to just be able to take y'all through just some simple features in the Zibo, and so I'll walk through the typical features. I've already set up my flight in SimBrief, so we're all good to go. In SimBrief, I'll be using Navigraph as one of the tools in this flight, and we're going to simply see if we can set up our flight. I'll show you how to load the FMS and see if we can make it to the wonderful Washington D.C. It's beautiful scenery there too. This time of the day is beautiful. Real time right now, it's about 1:30 Eastern time. So of course we're on UTC time, but we are we ought to have a beautiful little setup there. We're expecting snow here later in the week, but today I think should be a beautiful day. Well, let's go ahead and see if we can walk through everything. So we're in the cockpit here. By the way, this right here, the heads-up display that is built into this model, I love. You don't see anything yet because we're still cold. It's cold and dark. But I love this heads-up display especially when you got the nice little tint on it when you're up in the sky, and you don't want to have to keep looking down at the horizon below you. It is just a really neat tool. So that's something you'll probably see today. To get started, let's go ahead and close the battery guard. Ooh, nice sound there. And I'm going to go up here to I'll give y'all the right angle because I know it can be confusing. Let's go over here. There we go. That's nice. Let's go ahead and put navigation to our IRS to navigation so it can start doing its aligning. We'll pop on some fuel, and let's get the APC going. We're not going to hook up external power. We're going straight for the APC. We're waiting for a little light to come on here. Low pressure. There we go. Come back here and get that fired up. Okay. Also, I'm going over here to our packs and our pack settings, and I'm cutting off the recirculating fans. I'm setting that up. I'm going to cut the bleed down, cut the bleed open here, the APU bleed, so it can vent, and this is set up for when startup time comes. At this point, there's nothing else I am changing. I'm going to up the panel a little bit there. So if you notice there, we're about normalized, and the APU generator bus transfer, we're going to bring it up. And listen to those beautiful noises. Yeah. We're going to leave for now. We have these off here, anti-collision, wing, everything. We'll just leave those off for now since we're still in our location right here at the gate. I'll give you another shot at the airport while we're here. Once again, it's just beautiful. Beautiful place. You notice the two control towers. They're beautiful. This airport, they did jazz it up a little bit. You notice they're just the beautiful popping colors on it. It's been worked on a little bit by a group that did a great job with it. Right. Right, we're up there. Next thing we do, we're gonna come over to the FMS, the computer. Go ahead and initiate. You notice here it needs an IRS position, and we're going to let it know what it needs. Right now, if you notice with the IRS position like it is, you notice the horizon doesn't have any reference points, and we're going to fix that right here with this. Ta-da! So I tell you, I'm not an actual 737 pilot. I'm a UAV pilot who has always been a 737 enthusiast. So when I learn something new on on the 737 here in the cockpit, I still get excited. It's still cool. Okay, I want to go ahead and bring up the flight directors. If you'll notice, the flight directors coming up. I actually have an MSD, a hardware MSD that I purchased. That's in front of me here, so that's why you're not seeing my mouse cursor go near it. So I've got the flight directors on. Go ahead and pop that up. Auto throttle arm. All right, and those can stay up. Next thing, we already have gone to SimBrief for our flight planning, but on the flight management system we'll do this here, and we'll go into a lot of more detail later on this, but I thought let's go ahead and just take a good flight, a jaunt, so to speak. And let's load that plan. There we go, KCLT to KDCA. This is Charlotte to Reagan. Right there, let's activate that. And in activating that, we're going to come over to the our panel over here. We're going to load that. Start that. This is really cool what happens next. So now that I've basically loaded our flight plan, it knows our fuel requirements, so it's going to start doing its work. Food services on the way. Loaders doing their thing. Woohoo! And I have it, in terms of realism, I do have it on a faster setting so that we can get loaded without waiting a half hour right now. Great job, guys. Let's get some Austin's vegan food. What are they thinking? Ah! All right. Right, you hear hard at work? Great, 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 great. And our passengers, to get the passengers started, we have to go over here to the chime. And just doing that right there, the chiming, you're going to notice some activity here in a second.
Ground to flight deck, fuel is all loaded up and you are good to go.
Good job, guys. Thank you. Well, give me some passengers. Come on, let's go. There we go. Come on, guys. Let's go. Once our passengers are loaded, that means our cargo is loaded, our fuel is loaded. Next thing we'll do is start our weight calculations, our numbers on the FMS, our performance initialization. Go. Request those.
Right, we've got everyone strapped in. Give us a ring if you need anything.
Well, give me a second. Let me get loaded here. Okay, looks like we've got our numbers here. Our cost index on this flight is 8. Reserves, where I get the reserves from is I use Navigraph, but I can get an idea what our reserves are on the sim brief in Navigraph. See that CI number, which is the cost index number, is 8. Says here our reserves are going to be basically one, let's see, 1,000 pounds. I think that's 1,000 pounds.
All electronic devices do need to be turned off and put away at this time. This does include all cellular phones and two-way pagers.
Anyway, we'll tell it
Flight
when.
attendants, please prepare your doors for departure and contact.
There we go. Right, that's primarily what we needed for that number. Okay. Want to go to our N1 limit. It looks like we're going to come out on this rating here. I think that will put us at, I think we're going to use about a flaps 5 setting to go out on. So let's try flaps 5. Yeah, that'll take us to give us a V1 of 135. We're going to rotate at about 137 on there. Just to set that. So, cool. That'll give us our. We got toga. Get ready for our toga.
In just a few moments, we'd like you to direct your attention to the video screen located throughout the cabin.
For our departure runway, we're on 36 here, 36, yes. So we're going to make sure it's active. We're going to go out on the Barmy 5. Transition. Nuts transition. Okay, there we go. There we go. Those are active. That means that we'll start out with meshy. We don't need the vector. We do not need the 1260 heading. I don't think we need that. And I could be corrected on that. There's someone out there that knows a lot more than I, but I'm going to put that in. So that will give us a route us initially to meshy at bearing of 92. You notice our courses are already set, like we're going to set those for 0 since we're coming off runway 36. So our flight directors should need to be set to 0 there, or 360. We do not need our arrival airport yet, but we're going to do it anyway. We're going to be coming in on runway 1, the CAPS approach. Runway 1, I think. So I'll just tell it this is what we're doing. Going to legs for this. Make sure they're cleaned up. Do body. one thing I encourage you to do, learn the navigation part, because if you know before you ever turn that engine on, if you know what you're doing and where you're going, it will make your life so much easier, especially when you start having to talk to ATC and they're giving you corrections or anything. It makes things so much easier. And plus, you don't feel like a nervous wreck every time you hear the ATC voice coming on. Right, we need to listen to ATIS before we go. Also, we want to make sure we've got all our info. Off ATIS. That's 132-100.
Once outside, pull down on the brake pad with brake pedal, or blow into the red tube on the side of the vest. There is also a light that will illuminate upon contact with water. Never inflate the vest.
Yeah, let me see, I'm putting that in 132.
Light vest will be distributed by a flight attendant. The safety card shows how to use the vest. The crew will now be coming.
We won't be using the radio as much today because of what I said earlier. But let's listen. Excuse me, 132. 100.
Visibility more than 10 miles. Sky clear. Temperature 2. Dew point -8. Altimeter 3017. Arriving runway 2318 right. 18 center. Departing runways 18 left. 18 center. Advise on initial contact you have information Tango. Charlotte Douglas International Information Tango, 1825 Zulu. Wind light and variable. Visibility more than 10 miles. Sky clear. Temperature 2. Dew point -8. Altimeter 3017. Arriving
3017.
runway 23.
Altimeter.
18 right. 18 center. Departing
Right here.
runways 18 left. 18 center. Advise on initial contact you have information Tango.
Thank you. Like I said earlier, ATC's not playing as big of a role for us today, but we're still going to just listen for the clearance delivery. 127150. We'll just be monitoring, but we're not asking for clearance or anything. We're literally just so we can walk through this together. We're not doing this for this flight. Okay.
Clearance Delta 1636. Delta 1636, right? Yeah, ground is telling us to call you. Oh, wow, but I'll find out. Okay,
Hey, Captain, let me know where you want this thing.
We're using better pushback to go out. That better pushback's a great.
Great news, Captain. Your tow's coming.
It's a great plug-in to use.
All right. Looks like the doors and hatches are closed and we're ready to connect.
I'm going to go ahead and turn the seat belts to on. And we'll go ahead and fire up our lights now.
Flight attendants, prepare for takeoff, please.
Okay, the cabin is secured. Have a good flight.
Welcome aboard, Captain. Toes connected, bypass pins inserted. Go ahead and kill the parking brake when you're ready to go. Here comes the pushback. Light them up.
Alright, let's start some engines. Right, what we're waiting for here is 20, 25 area, 20 to 25 before we turn the fuel on. Here we go. Should be okay there. Also, this is our auto anti-skid. We're setting it to RTO for this flight. You're listening for the click. Good noise. There's a good click there. Wait for about 20-ish. Good. There we go. Got the click there. Okay, our next step here is we're going to go back through and start cutting on some of our systems, the window heat. Yes. We're doing our electric hydraulic pumps, certain recirculating fans. Put the packs to auto now that we're up. We are cutting the engine buses on. With the engine buses on, we can shut down the APU and cut off the bleed. Right, we're good there. You notice here we're at 35,000 feet, which is going to be our top of climb. It is already set here, so we're good there. Once we hit about 17,000 feet is when we're going to switch over to standard pressure, cabin pressure. Right. Let's turn on our taxi lights. Turn on runway lights. I hold off on landing lights because you get fussed at if you do that. And we're going to switch our engines to continuous since we are stable. This FMS, this side here, I always put on progress so I can just kind of see it. It gives me to exactly how many miles we have left. Like right now we've got a 422 mile trip that we're about to take. Beautiful airport, beautiful, beautiful.
Just about done here. Go ahead and set your parking brake. And we're disconnecting the tow. Give me just a moment.
All right. Cool, cool, cool. Okay. We're going to go ahead and set flaps now. We're going to be flying at, we're going to be taking off at flaps 5. So I'm going to go ahead and have those set. And yes, give me a hand signal. Make it nice. Here we go. And what do you have to say to me, buddy? I think he says hand signals on the right. We'll see.
And we're disconnected. Signal and pin on the right. Take it easy and have a safe flight.
Thank you, buddy. Yeah, see the pin. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. All right, looks like here we our MSD configured. Our RTO is set right here. Our anti-skid. You notice here we have our passengers. Everybody's ready to go, so we'll give them a quick announcement while we're here. Just say,
Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight desk, welcome aboard our flight today. We're wrapping up the final paperwork here to get you underway momentarily. I want to thank you so much for your company, and those necessarily invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the rest.
uh-oh, it's saying we have no V-speed in the system. Let's check that, see what we did wrong. Because I thought we set up V-speed. Yeah. Here we go. They're N1 limit. Takeoffs. Whoa. Let's fix that. We must have changed something. There we go. Notice over here that went away. So our V-speeds are where they're supposed to be. That would have been bad because what that does is on when you go to hit the N1 button, it's the worst feeling. Or the toga. You go toga. Okay. All right. So we're taking off from 36, runway 36. So let's head that way. I think that's American Airlines, their hangar over there. It's a big, huge hangar. We're going to put sunglasses on here, I think. I like these sunglasses. See, it doesn't darken it too much. Although I will say, Zibo mod is a tad bit dark. The 737 is a tad bit dark, but it's alright. And where we're going is 36, runway 36, C Charlie. We're going to be crossing, I think we're going to cross one runway on the way. That sounds so, there's nothing more realistic than the sound of taxiing. That noise you hear. Beautiful Charlotte Tower. Woo! Driving drunk. Okay. Right, we're turning on the first drive here. I think the bigger heavies may take the other one. We don't. So we're coming onto the runway 36 Charlie. We'll do one fat last check. All right. Clear view. We're both engines are on continuous. Landing lights, runway lights, taxi is off. By the way, one last thing that's bothering me, I usually said it beforehand, but I like that panel to be a little brighter. Alright, now here's where I use my heads-up display. Love this. Okay. So it just gives me perspective. It gives me my speeds. And it makes it easier to see once I hit the toggle button. So I'm about to hit the toggle button, or the N one. Right, we're ready. Rotate. What's that angle?
Positive rate.
Gear up.
$400.
VNav on. LNav on. Command A.
1,000.
Autopilot. Watching our speed and watching our flaps. That's a beautiful livery. It is. All right, let's look at our navigation. So our first point we're hitting is Meshy, about 20 nautical miles from Meshy, and I'll give you another view of this also. Let's see. check out our navigation on here. One thing that's a little, I have to figure this out of what's going on here. Do you see this part in our navigation? We're going to see what's going on there. That just doesn't look right. So let's go to our plan. Let's cut down the distance of the, let's take a look at that. Bada. Sure, what's happening there? Audi and Bada. Okay, so that's after Newts. That just doesn't look right. We're gonna kind of scrutinize that. Those are right before waves. We're gonna go ahead and go direct to waves. Maybe. Let me see. Yeah, that seemed to clear that up. There was an extra waypoint in there, and normally we would have called out to ATC, maybe asked for a change in our IFR clearance or IFR flight plan. But in this case here, since no ATC on this flight, I went ahead and corrected that. We need to go ahead and go to standard. For our air cabin pressure. Yeah, that looks much better though. So fast. So we're at about 447 knots true speed right now. So this is the part of the flight where I think we have everything set. We're on the proper climb. We won't be at top of climb very much before it's time to come back down, but we'll have a little bit of time at top of climb. See what we need to change. We can go ahead and bring this back to locked there. RTO can be back to off, and eventually we'll be taking it to probably about a 2 for landing for our anti-lock on our brakes. We can go ahead and reset these for the runway 01 when time comes. I don't know if it needs to be that harsh. We're going to put that at about half, like the angle of turn. We can go ahead and check our frequencies for ILS when we do get to approach. So let's go to the airport. KDCA. So we're going to be coming in on runway 01 at 109.9 and at a mean sea level of 11 feet. Runway distance of the length of the runway is 7,180 feet, which is fine, especially for landing like this. So anyway, if we're at 109.9, let's go check our frequencies here on the nav radio. 1099, 1099. We're squawking right now 4445. That is not as important. Like I said, on this flight, it will be important on future flights. Weather, when we get to KDCA, it looks like will be altimeter is 3004 there. So we're going to go ahead and set our cabin, or set our altimeter at 3004. right there. And then we're going to go to our descent information. Forecast 3014 QNH, and do a winds request. Great, got that. Got our winds. And we're about 150 miles from our descent area. About 100. I'm going to try to trust VNAV on our descent a little bit more today to see where it takes us. Sometimes I think the descent is a little slower than I want it to be, but I always have to measure that with my impatience. Is it me, or is it the actual descent? our sunglasses, by the way, do make the dash just a hair dark. Let's see. Better. That's not a whole lot better, but a little bit better. We're at about 32,000 and climbing. So we're near our top of descent. I am going to let passengers know that we're close and let them have a break.
Get to the flight deck. We've looked off now at our cruising altitude. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the fasten seatbelt sign. Flight deck will ask if you are saving your seatbelt comfortably fastened for your safety. Onboard confusion is non-time arrival. Always keep people lazy. We're going to stay quiet up here, having enjoyed the flight and the service. Once again, welcome aboard.
Bring these back. By the way, I never turned my landing lights off, which, by the way, as much as I'm cutting them on, I'm going to be turning them back on at below 10,000, but normally. If you're wondering why we're not climbing past 33, our top of climb is 33,000. And right here, because I took off the prior waypoint, and VNAV is smarter than I am. So at this point, what we're going to do is we're going to be taking our altitude down to 2,500. VNAV's controlling the altitude, but VNAV cannot descend below what the altitude is set to. We're going to set it to 2,500. That will actually be our approach altitude. So that will be ready to go. Also, we're already very near our top of con. You see here where it says it's 33,000. It says 33,000. Our 104 nautical mile journey to waves is takes us down to 22,000. So we're going to be preparing for that. So we're 93 nautical miles from our descent. We'll see how that goes. That's me, by the way, way up there. Oh, goodness, I'm way up there. shot. This is awesome. So let's go over here and look at our descent. So our landing altitude is verified. System annunciator, approach reference, VREF. Our barometric minimums are set. Our navigation radio is set. And our auto brake is set. So okay, I lied. Auto brake is not set yet, so we want to set it to 2. Leave it on 2. You know, we haven't been in the plane, or we haven't gone back and taken a gander back here. I thought, well, since we have a minute before we descend. I forgot to tell the co-pilot you have a plane, but it's a plane, it's a plane. This is a larger than it looks like plane. I think we cap out at about 189 passengers. That is a cool shot. Yeah. It's a lot of engine. We're at about 53 nautical miles from top of climb, or ready to go. We'll see. We do have the option to start our descent now, and I think I'm going to take it up on it. So we're about 50 nautical miles from actual top of climb. According to this, at Waves, we want to be down to 22,000 for Waves. KCET, you see we do our graduated or our de-escalated. But here we go. We're going to go ahead and go with the descent now. Okay, with that in mind, we're going to tell passengers to put your seatbelts on. And let's make sure they know what we're up to.
The seatbelt sign has been switched on. For your safety, please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the seatbelt sign has been switched off.
15 minutes. Want to thank you so much for your company and business, and hope to see you again with us sometime very soon.
We're a longer way than 15 minutes from All right, we're on slow descent right now. Yeah, we're in great shape. So we've got about 72 miles to be down to 22,000. We've got about 11 nautical miles to go from 22 to 17. So I'm hoping this descent process will go smoothly. I'm still learning about how to descend properly and efficiently. I watch a lot of the professional pilots to try to balance that, do a good job at it. But it's like an ever learning process. See our window heat, all that still, nothing changes. Like we're not changing anything on our settings right here. Everything's as it should be. We are going to be cutting back to our altimeter setting here. 3004 is a QNH. So our air pressure in the cabin will mess with our passengers. And we are 131 miles outside of DC. Match up the bug. Nav radio is ready to go. ILS set. I made the mistake of going into restricted area airspace in DC, and I thought the communicator was going to have my hide. Not really happy about that. That's why I like the heads-up display. That where you set that, by the way, if you have the Zibo model and you're like, I don't see it, I can't find it, you have to go into your Zibo settings and display. I think it's display variants. Yeah. So it's the systems, and hit the HUD for the captain is what you have to activate. Yeah, call it out, call it out. One other piece of information, if you need it on your AV tab in the airport section, if you have it set up correctly, I can go to approach here, runway 01 ILS, and I can actually pull up the map or the reference chart. And if you look on here, it tells me, it even says where Cattern is. that 2,500 foot mark. This is where we're going to be capturing the localizer. It also tells you where your ILS your nav information for ILS is on here. Just useful information. Check our settings. So we're coming down on waves. We're at 26,000. Trying to get down to 21,000. Also, it says here that our speed limit is 280. So we should be at 280. Uh, 102 miles out. We are approaching the end of waves. No, we're not. We got 31 nautical miles left on waves. We'll be down. Yeah, we should make 210 without a problem. Once again, I'm trusting VNAV to make the adjustments for our descent. So don't let me down. Okay. See that this is where it's got the end of our descent, but I'm not sure about that yet. Funny that you spend more time looking at the gauges and the instruments than you do the outside. we're just out to coming down on 220, coming near 210. Let's see. So we're 88 miles out of DC. About 7 miles from Waves. And I believe that we will continue our descent at the end of Waves. You see it go to KCLT. We should continue our descent. And there we go. Bam. Good job. Descent continues. KCLT will take us down to 17,000. Give you an idea how far from the ground we are, or how far from. So we're 62 miles from DC, 62 miles. We are we? We're almost a hair behind. No, we're not. We're close on our descent for KCLT. So we should continue down to 14,000 under ELAP. Yeah, that's no problem. I think the fact it kept going and looking at my moon there, we're back in business. If you look at the right here, our descent measure. There's a fancy word for it. I'm not using it at the moment, but our little half smile, upside down smile. So it looks like we're in good shape there. I have a lot of respect for pilots because we're not using ATC right now. ATC has to play traffic cop for all traffic, so there are times that they make you adjust and do different things, and it can be stressful, but you can make the best plan in the world, and ATC can have a need for you to do something different. So have a lot. My hat goes off to the pilots and how they adjust. On the same token, this is really nice. This shows you the effectiveness of VNAV, because so far what I see, and I'm monitoring speeds too, everything looks like it's really lining up, and we should be down under Bully here. Got about 9 miles to get down to about 13,000. It just looks really good. I think it's on course. Also, I see my half smile up top there. Love my fancy words. I'm sorry, real pilots. But it looks like we're in good shape there. We should be down to be able to get stabilized and ready for VOR capture and ILS capture. Right, speeds are lining right up. Good job. Good job, BNAV. Yeah, give you all a different view. Sorry guys. I know that can be boring. Some sunglasses. It wasn't sunglasses. There we go. Right. Alright, coming on down. 49 miles out of DC. We're on the CAPS path right now. Something I've had an easier time with this time, I have not yet deployed any speed braking on a slower descent. It hasn't been a problem, hasn't been a difficulty at all. I have not, obviously it's not time for flaps yet, but we've been able to like really go low and slow, deliberate, not rushing anything. No need to get down too quick, so that's been nice. We're about to go below 10,000, so we're about to cut on our lights. Let's go ahead and do that. Light up the sky. there. We've got, we're right at where we're supposed to be. We may need a little bit of speed braking here. I notice speed's going up just a hair. We should be around 240. So we might give it a little speed brake, just a little bit. We're going to do one more request for our speed, our wind speeds. Jump down a little bit to, we're going to be going down to 195 shortly here. We're at we're in Hall. That'll take us down to 240 knots. We're at 9,000. We'll be going down to 5,700. I think we have a turn. We're currently at about bearing of 52. We're 52. We're about to go to 7, bearing of 07. We are 18 miles out of DC. I think we're pretty much on target, on schedule. Anyway, I was going to say about the way you take off out of DC, you got to be careful not to go over the monuments or the restricted airspace, or man, you will get fussed at. Right, everything looks good. 1099, 1099. We're at 235 knots at 7,000 feet. Still descending. We're in good shape. I'm about to take over our speed control. In fact, I think I'll do that now. So what I did was I did a speed intervention. And it took us down to 190. About to bring some flaps in here. Flaps 5. Taking our speed down to 165. And we're about 4,000 now. We're at Catter. We have about 4.3 nautical miles to go before we hit bad. We're in pretty good shape right now, though, on our path. Up to the point I think I'm going to go ahead and do our locator, VOR, or localizer, not the locator, localizer. They're going to pick us up and line us up. Beautiful, beautiful. Dun, 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 dun. You ought to be able to see the Reagan, in fact, for that matter, the Washington Monument in the distance as soon as we get down here. We're still in really good shape there. Good job. Gear down. Localizer captured. Command autopilot. Command B on. We're at flaps 5 currently. We're about to add a little bit more flap in a moment. Not quite yet. We're good. We're taking it down to 150. Let's add beautiful, beautiful. We're at flaps 15 right now. We're ILS. We're locked on the ILS and the VOR. That is beautiful, just beautiful.
1,000 feet stabilized, Mr. Perch, altitude set.
Thank you, buddy. Right. Landing lights down, runway lights. Is there anything we're forgetting? There's one way to know. check your checklist. So landing ILS, landing. All right.
400.
We're down. Speed set down to 140.
300. 200.
Looking for a nice soft landing.
100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Whoa.
Knots.
We'll be taxiing for the next few minutes, so please remain seated with your seatbelts fastened and all items stowed until the seatbelt sign is turned off. Please make sure you have all your personal belongings before you exit the aircraft, and be careful when opening the overhead compartments. You're now free to use your mobile phones and small lightweight devices. Thank you for flying with us today. We hope you've had a pleasant experience.
All right, let's taxi to the gate. I know. Granny, slow. Speed up. No. Buildings cost money. Right, what I always do here is I go to ground services and go ahead and set the chocks and have the GPU connected. Have it started, and then I shut down power or shut down fuel.
Prepare for arrival and cross-check, thank you.
All right, so on this one, my commentary had was lacking a little, but I'm hoping at least it gave those of you out there who are just getting started an idea of what you can do. A lot of what I've learned on the 737 has come from these really smart and amazing pilots, and I look forward to learning more from them. So I still watch quite a bit. Be looking in the comment section for links to some of the tools that I use, and in future future episodes we'll get into more detail on some of the tools that were used for this particular flight. Everybody have a good day. It's great flying with you. Thanks for coming out, and I hope maybe you take a little nugget away today.